Hello world, my name is Taylor, and if you have not noticed yet, I am black. Okay, now that the dust has settled from that, I think we should start this video. So, I just wanted to say that I loved when Disney Channel had like a lot of African American people in their shows. Not saying that they don't anymore. They do have shows with African American characters, and they do have another show, at least one I believe, where it's centered around an African American family, and I love that. Not that it really matters to me, but let's just jump into this. So the first one is going to be Smart Guy. First of all, the theme song from season 1 to like 3 was amazing. It's the funniest, and a lot of people don't remember that this show actually came on Disney Channel, but it did. So the show is about TJ Henderson, who is a smart guy. He's a 10-year-old kid at the start of the season, and he gets put into high school with his sister and his brother, who are less smart. His sister is smart. His sister is like smarter than the average person, but she's not genius smart. And his brother is also there. They go throughout their crazy antics of a 10-year-old in high school going to school with his older sister and his older brother. And yeah, the mother is not in the picture. I think she died or something, so the dad occasionally gets girlfriends, and that gets thrown in there. That's fun. So staying on the Maury trail, my number 2 favorite show, or best show, whatever, is Sister Sister, which is starring Tia and Tamara Maury, who are twins who were separated at birth. Believe it or not, this is the first time that I personally had ever come across this twin sisters separated at birth thing. So when I asked my mom if I was adopted and she said no, I honestly started crying. Anyway, back to the show. So Tia and Tamara are eventually reunited at a department store where they wanted a similar looking shirt, but kept telling the person who was behind the counter that they wanted specific changes to the shirt, and then he got confused, and then they ended up meeting. Okay, kind of like they did in Twitches, which is a different show that they did like a decade later. But that's a story for a different video. Tamara was like a very party-esque, wanna have fun, loosey-goosey type person, whereas Tia was more rigid and strict and learning, education, blah blah blah. And they were raised by parents who were the opposite, which was kind of the funny part. And then eventually their parents and them move in together, and then they live throughout this series, which is the 4 of them in one house, so that the twins can get closer to each other and all this other stuff. The next one is an animated picture, of course, because as you may have picked up from my other 2 videos, I love animated features. And this one is called The Proud Family, which everyone should know because Beyonce is in the theme song, along with the other Destiny Child members and her sister who sings the actual lyric. But it had hilarious jokes from like inside the black community, like when Oscar had to light a fire with his ashy feet. Dejanay was a character's name, and she had like Dejan mustard colored hair, and it was just a funny show. It was hilarious. And the Gross sisters, who were like the bullies of the show, were blue because they were always ashy and they didn't have lotion. And I feel like people are too afraid to recreate something like that because it might not be PC and taken the wrong way, but who cares? That was funny. The next and last show that I have on this list is not actually a show. It was a DCOM, and it was a DCOM that I had to watch during school, and I am picking it because it follows all of the criteria, and it is The Color of Friendship. What? This is a great movie. No matter how old you are, if you've never seen it, I really suggest that you watch this movie because it's actually really good. It's about this girl who's in Africa. I think she's from South Africa, so she's white. I mean, not everybody in South Africa is white, but they do have a larger white population in South Africa. So she's a white person from Africa, and she's going to America, a predominantly white country. So she thinks that she's going to go, and she just assumes that she's just going to live with some white people, right? But the school that she's coming to hears that they're going to have a kid from Africa come to school. So they find like one of the only black people in the school, and they say, okay, can you host this kid from Africa? And they're like, oh sure, of course, we'd love to have like this African child come live with us, assuming that the African child's gonna be black. I forgot to mention a big part of this, which is that it's like during apartheid. So this white girl comes into this black home, and she's grown up in the mindset that white and black don't mix. And the apartheid was during the 70s. So these people who are well into their lives in the 70s, meaning that they were present during the 60s, so to have like this white person come into their house. So tensions are not only mixed, are not only like in the house, tensions are also outside, because it's like the early 70s and civil rights movement just passed like 3 years prior to this. So then they have like this white girl living with these black people, and everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, that's not the status quo. Stick to the stuff you know. So anyway, it's just a really good movie, and like there are lessons that we can learn now, and there are lessons that kids can learn, and it's just a great movie. Of course, it's a decom movie, so they do eventually get over everything, and then they end up teaching everybody else a lesson that just because their colors, their pigmentation, their melanin output is different doesn't mean that they can't be friends, and they end up being like sisters, and they keep in touch. Spoiler alert. But I mean, it's a decom movie, you saw that coming anyway. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave suggestions of what I should do in my next videos. And yes. Okay. Until next time, hasta luego, bye. Still need to come up with a sign off. So far I've said bye in 3 different languages. So if you have a better one, let me know. Ciao. Okay. Bye.